Thursday night, and you're tuned in to Rip Radio Network, which can mean one and only thing that, I don't know, we don't know what time it is. We know that time.
Yes.
I'm Chip, by the way. This is Chip Chat.
Welcome to Chip Chat.
Hi, I'm Chip. Who are you, Tez?
I'm Tez.
Yeah. You're in charge of the time tonight.
Yeah.
Tez time.
Tez time. There it is.
Yeah.
9:31 Thursday.
It's Tez
April
talk
21st.
Tez time. You're a busy guy. Sort of responsible for everything now.
Yeah.
It's Passover. I haven't had any, reasonable carbs in many, many days, so my brain is not working.
So this could be...
It's been a lot of salad, and I made some short rib over the weekend.
Oh, cool.
Which is dynamite and works well, if you pack it in the fridge and then you can nuke it for lunch. It still falls apart. It's wonderful.
Ooh. Short rib, man.
I got to tell you.
A good replacement for oxtail, because the oxtail prices are insane.
Right. That's exactly how the math of this works.
Yes.
Is that oxtail is prohibitively expensive.
Damn you.
Short rib is similar in the way that it cooks and tastes, and is less prohibitively expensive. I think I'm getting it $10 a pound at Giant.
Oh, and it's even still deep. But it's a different time right now, and it's going to be the new time.
For the time being.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. We'll see. I'm going to check back in. We'll do it.
Tez can see the future.
This chair is going to kill me in a minute. But in the first break.
What's it doing?
It's just got one of the, if I make a certain.
You can feel it's wiggling on you?
A little bit.
It's getting ready to go?
And I don't know. That would be.
It's probably because our CEO is cheap.
His name is Trump.
His name is Trump. He doesn't pay. He doesn't keep up the studio. He makes me come in and fix things on weekends. It's ridiculous. I want a raise.
Go Ravens.
Yeah. Okay, and that's him. There you go. Anyway, so happy Passover to everybody. Happy 420 to everybody yesterday.
Yeah.
Now, if you smell that here in the studio, that is because yesterday was 420, but it was also Wednesday, which means that 420 radio was here.
Radio show was here.
Stay off the weed.
It was, as you could guess, one of the better shows they've ever had.
Right. I can, yeah.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So we're going to, bask in their after, I don't know, what do you call it? Secondhand high? What is the thing?
I don't know. I guess it would be a secondhand high.
It's not like a hangover.
No,
because weed doesn't give you that.
Yeah,
because
just goes in the air.
It's bad for you. All right, so
reefer madness.
Right. Oh, we could unpack that for days.
Oh.
We do not have time for that on this show. We want to remind everybody also, if you're listening, that the real party is tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, I did see this.
At the Springfield Mall at Records and Rarities, because our buddy Count Fifth has a new record out. He's got the release party, and they're doing deals all day long on all kinds of records, but the party goes from 7 to 9. You want to get down there. It's $25 to get in. It gets you a signed vinyl copy of the record. And then, all the other stuff that goes on at the party. And I'm going to try to get there, but I don't know that if I can make it. So if I can't, I'm just going to mail them $25 or Venmo them $25 to get the record.
There it is.
Which is really the thing anyway.
That's what you want. Yeah.
I can drink beer with the guy anytime I want. So I can't drink beer on Friday. It's still Passover.
Well, look, there we go. So if you are watching
on Record Store Day, which is the 23rd.
Yeah. So support your local record stores.
Absolutely.
Go check out our boy Count Fifth.
Yeah. And Impulse is on a couple of the records too.
Okay,
so
there you go.
Yeah, we fit a lot of the Chip Chat bump is real. Yeah,
yeah. Support your local record stores.
As a matter of fact, speaking of Chip Chat bumping, Priest of Nomads records.
Yes,
he's Chuck D keeps playing them. So I think
he has
we
dope
did
records.
that. You're going
to take.
Yeah, of course I am. No, Chuck listens to the show.
Yeah, all the time.
And he was like, I don't know who to play from DC. And then he heard us playing Priest records. And then he was like, yo, that's pretty good stuff. I think I'm going to feature it all the time on all of my playlists. So
look at us.
We did that.
Tastemakers.
That's it. Ray Suarez,
Oh, yeah.
It's all the way around.
Yeah, it's all the way around. Exactly. Look,
it's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. You should, if you have a new record and you want to get it played on the air, send it to us.
Yeah.
We'll play it.
Oh, yeah. What else do we play?
Yeah. Alex Jones singing.
Exactly. How many times can we play the Alex Jones? Actually, you can play it tonight.
We're going to play it tonight.
You can play it tonight. You can play it tonight. Anytime.
Unless we have to pay him royalties because he needs them bad. All right. So anyway, we got a lot of stuff tonight, including Tez has a 600-page article that he wants to discuss.
We're gonna get out of here on time tonight.
We can distill down into DC was a black city. It's not so black anymore.
Really,
That's
nigga?
not as good. We're a little sad about that.
That could be to both things, right? That could be to us getting out on time tonight and to
Yeah. So now you can skip your incredibly long article.
It's all over with. Yeah, we've explained it.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay. Do you have a word for tonight?
Yes, I do have a word.
I've got a word. It's my word. Has been my word all week. It's my favorite word to use during
this chair's getting switched out.
This
here, you see, it has that like
it's
kinda, it doesn't. Yeah,
it wants to be on the show.
Yeah, it's just way too loud.
It's looking for the chip chat bump. It's going to be a famous chair next week.
Yeah, with some WD.
It's going to have its own Twitter feed.
That could eat. How
like
many
Devin
chairs?
Nunes' cow.
How many chairs do you think already have a Twitter feed?
Oh, I'm sure there's a few. Yeah. I don't know. Brian's chair. Brian's got a fancy chair.
That is a fancy chair.
Yeah. It's like a throne almost.
Producer throne.
Producer, right. Yeah. Him and Crank Lucas.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a word.
You got your word?
Yep.
All right. So sit back, grab some.
Plutocracy.
It's tequila time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on Rip Radio Network.
Sweeps.
Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's up, yeah?
Okay, so this week we learned about I didn't have this on my bingo card.
Not at all.
I didn't even know that this was a thing.
It's contact high. I'm sorry, just to go back to what we're doing.
Oh, that's the word we were looking for?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I quit so long ago, I forgot all the words.
Should have known that one.
Yeah, I would have guessed.
Thank you.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, it's like driving around in D.C. now. It's just sort of a constant contact high. All right. Speaking of high, Tucker.
Yeah.
Or as he's now known, Tuckums. Joy calls him Tuckums, and my whole family now calls him Tuckums.
Tuckums.
I can't understand a lot about Tucker, but this one was so bizarre that I thought it was fake, right? Like somebody sent me this tweet that had a video clip from his new documentary on the Fox News streaming service.
This is Fox Plus?
Yeah, whatever it
is.
Which also RIP to CNN Plus. Audie Carnish, come on back. Can be on Chip Chat Radio. Yeah. Chris Wallace, we'll take you. Just saying. I mean,
we got a seat open over there.
If you bail on NPR for CNN and then CNN screws you, NPR is obligated to take you back. It's on the tote bag. They will take you back.
Inside.
Yeah, right on the label. Yeah. Good for one free re-entry. As long as your membership is current.
Fair.
All right. Okay. So yeah, Tucker he's been producing a lot of programming on the Fox Plus or whatever they
more opinions.
Yes. And is one of the reasons that Chris Wallace left Fox is because they keep letting Tucker produce this stuff. So this is like a Tucker documentary. And it is about this thing that he is very concerned about, which, when I tell you, is going to surprise you given what you probably know from looking at and seeing Tucker Carlson. He is very worried about declining testosterone levels in the United States. Okay, now, full stop. He doesn't mean that, like, you know, hey, look at all these people getting hormone therapy who finally need it. And like, hey, Tucker, you like testosterone. It's good, right? No, he doesn't mean that.
No, no, not at all.
He doesn't mean that. No. What he means is that his tuckum is not stuck in him anymore. And so he's feeling a little insecure about that, I think. Look at Tucker Carlson. Just look at him. We're going to show you this video, but when you look at him, you can understand why he is personally very concerned about declining testosterone levels. Okay? Ready? Roll the clip.
You saw in the clip there, if you want to optimize and take it to another level, expose yourself to red light therapy.
Yes.
And the Juve that we were using in the documentary, there's a massive amount of it.
Which is testicle tanning.
It's testicle tanning, but it's also full body red light therapy, which has massive amount of benefits. And there's so much data out there.
The important thing there was those words that he used.
So obviously,
this guy is a proponent of what they call homeopathy, bromeopathy?
Somewhere around there.
Bromeopathy. Oh, my God.
Bromeopathic.
If there ever been two date rapists on TV at the same time, and one of them wasn't Brett Kavanaugh, it was those two guys. Look at Tucker. No wonder he's worried about testosterone levels. That guy is stopping his cousins from getting laid. That's how awful.
Okay,
I mean, look at him. Look at his pasty punchable face. And what is his hair doing? Why does his hair do that? And he switched to a necktie instead of the bow tie. He used to wear a bow tie for a really long time.
Why is he bringing the same, like, I know why he's bringing the same outfit to...
He has a consistent outfit.
Yeah, he has a consistent outfit. Like, but you're doing, like, the document. I thought he would come in, like, more of, like...
Casual or something.
Like a Vineyard Vine, some type of thing. He looks like a Vineyard Vine.
Yeah, of course.
Is that what it is?
Well, no, he doesn't go to the Vineyard anymore. The one with the pink whale?
Yeah, is that it? No,
because Barry O is on the Vineyard.
Oh.
It can't be...
Shush. Can't do that.
No.
Can't do
those
that.
Limousine liberals. Okay, so Tuckums wants everybody to get into testicle tanning.
And you know, what's he's touching on something.
Touching on something?
No pun intended. He's touching. I didn't. But he's touching on a fear that a lot of people seem to have about. Everybody's really worried about, like, masculinity is on the way out, and you know what? For me,
the soy lattes are making them all into women,
and everybody's
the estrogen and the lattes.
I'm out here because I wear shorts above my knees. Because you know why?
Because it's hot out.
It's hot out, and my legs look good. So that's why I be out. But everybody does seem to be worried about, like, America is losing its masculinity, and we need to be men. And obviously, we know the biggest group who thinks this is white men. We're like, the grievance.
Yeah, but I think there's also a bit of crossover because one of the tools of white supremacy and Christo-fascist ethno-nationalism is convincing the groups you're oppressing to carry your own message.
Yeah.
So you watch, I want to say, I don't know exactly how to call this, but like black men who are overtly concerned about what they call manhood.
Yes.
We have a few of them on the network that we've run into.
Brian's
Alpha fucking dumbass, stupid dog ass female. Yeah, whatever bitches.
Yeah,
I fucking hate those alphas.
These guys are.
This seems like it's in a brewing thing. Oh my God! All right.
Well, these are the kind of guys
who
are worried about, that it's inappropriate for black men to express their feelings, or that because it's a tool. They're conflating. Now, look, we know there's this history of, like, awful shit perpetrated by the slavers against black men.
Yes, we're not denying
and I don't even want to get into the details of it because it's too gruesome and awful to think about. We're not talking about that. Telling your friends that you love them, or being nice to your children, or being vulnerable with your feelings is nothing like what you're comparing it to. And I don't understand where that whole thing comes from, except to say that until women were allowed to have opinions, that kind of masculinity was successful in you being able to, quote unquote, get laid. Although I will say none of it was consensual at any level. There's a big difference between strong arming or presenting or being one of these things where there's no other option and closing the deal, quote unquote. That is not the same thing as some partner willingly choosing you.
I think it's all smoke and mirrors for the fact that, like, we have men stop running things.
Yeah.
Like, who's that? Like, if we just look at the bare numbers
Right. What
of
do you
it,
mean there's going to women have choices?
Yo, like, and that's where it's like, it's a huge straw man, but I get it because it plays into, like, the culture wars, and I understand. I think more so for us black folk out there, I think it's always, for me, I'm always like, well, if I do feel this way, I also do look around and be like, who are the people that also feel this way with me? And I also like, who are these, for lack of a better word, bedfellows that we share?
Don't say that in Florida.
I know, Lord. Bedfellows that I share these opinions with, but it just seems like a huge straw man to me.
And I feel like that's the right way to think of it, is because, like, if the thing you're about to say sounds like the sort of thing that Tucker or Trump or somebody like that might also say, you should examine that a little more closely. Just examine it.
I mean, yeah, you might still think...
You might be okay.
Yeah, you might be okay.
A broken clock is right twice a day, but I'm saying, like, think a little harder about that before you go spouting it.
That's more where I'm at with it.
Because it might be that the thing you're repeating that you hold to be part of your culture might be something that was imposed on or taught to you by the colonizers, and you are now repeating on their behalf with no input or effort from them. I'm just saying you might want to pay attention to that. What does Tucker say? Just asking questions.
Oh, that's his thing, yeah. Just asking questions.
So, anyway, Tucker's really into ball tanning.
Yes.
Testicle tanning, I think he called it. So, we have a list of things that...
It's a long way to get you to this list.
That Tucker is really talking about here. Do you want to... You want to go with the first one?
All right. I've just looked at this list, actually.
Okay.
Tucker hangs out at intersections, and when the light turns red, whips out his Swanson, frozen giblets, and tries to catch some rays.
That's true. And he's also, just the Swanson thing is because he's the son of the Swanson Empire.
Of course.
Yeah, so if you buy a TV dinner, you're helping Tucker. Yeah.
Sorry, I never liked Swanson.
Me in college.
I didn't like Swanson ones. I guess
they do the job. You know, a lot of the things you buy might be Swanson. You don't know that.
Oh, that's a good point, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
be careful.
Sorry.
My morality is not getting into that.
A trip to the red light district in Amsterdam left Tucker very, very disappointed.
Yeah.
It was not what he was expecting. I like the graphic. Way to go, Brian.
See, that's what I was thinking he would be wearing, but he's still wearing the underneath it.
Look at how punchable he is.
Why does he have that on?
Why does he look like that?
All right, number 3. Tucker got the idea that tan balls increase testosterone after watching hours of interracial porn.
That's right.
My God.
That's exactly where that was going. Oh, good graphic, Brian. Way to get that one in. Brian inverted the graphic. Good job.
Oh, my Lord. Children, if you're watching at home, turn it off.
The children that watch Chip Chat in Florida. Heteronormativity is bad. I have a plan for that.
Hey, watch out. You're encroaching on my masculinity.
That's true. Somehow my opinions of things affects you. It's like so ridiculous. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Red light therapy appeals to people who get kicked where the sun don't shine all the time. Yeah, it's true.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why would you make a drawer that's that low
if you're
watching at home? Oh, my God. All right, number 5. Advanced followers of Tucker's medical advice just stick their junk in the microwave.
Yes.
Hey, what is going on the screen,
Brian,
friends?
Brian.
Friends. Oh, my.
Is this why you can't let white guys produce your show?
Right, exactly. Just
this is what turns out, come on.
Where'd you get that on? Tour?
Don't ask him. Yeah. Brian's got air-gapped shit everywhere. He's got people in Sweden sending him stuff. All right. Tucker is very worried about the testosterone shortage in the U.S. and making this the making this only the second most homoerotic thing he has ever worried about. The first, of course, is that time he told everyone that he can't get any good dick to suck after 11 at night. We just report the news, people.
Hey,
we don't write this stuff.
Look.
We just report this stuff.
This idea is part of a group of treatments called bromeopathic remedies, which includes collared shirts, tight shorts, and of course, date rape.
Yes.
Shit, man. What the fuck? Lord.
What? It's in their platform. It's
Yeah,
the whole
that is-
thing.
yeah.
I'm sure there's a blog about it. Yeah. Or a couple.
He slid into the election and won it.
That's right. Yeah. Just grab them. All right. Besides Tucker, noted practitioners of testicle tanning include Hulk Hogan, Sammy Sosa, and of course, Caitlyn Jenner. That's funny. I also like that it went from darkest to lightest on the chart.
Yeah.
It's a steroids joke. Do you get it?
Come on, friends.
All right.
Pay attention.
Come on.
All right, number 9, Madison Cawthorn is hoping that with enough time in the toaster, his balls can finally join the 7-year-old orgy.
That's true.
Oh, my God.
In that image, you can see Madison Cawthorn right as the toaster dings. Yeah, there you go. And number 10, this one's personal. Of course, stay tuned for our new sponsor, Carlson's patented cupped waffle iron.
Oh.
Way to go, Brian.
What type of...
What a graphic.
What? Oh,
What a
wow.
graphic.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Screenshot that, Brian.
Yeah.
That's going to be our cover photo. All right, you want to take a break?
I think we might need to.
we need to take a break.
It's a
All right.
really bad list.
Yeah. We're going to
Great.
take a break. You're listening to Chip Chat on RIP Radio Network.
Consequences.
Welcome back to Chip Chat here on RIP Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's poppin', y'all?
All right, now we've come to the part of the show called The Rundown, where we're going to tell you about some stuff that's going on in the news.
There we go.
All right, this one here, a federal judge ruled Monday, this segment is called Consequences.
Oh, consequences.
That a group of Georgia voters can proceed with their legal efforts to disqualify Representative MTG from running for re-election because of her role in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol.
Seems fair.
It does seem fair. It also seems constitutional.
Yes.
There are amendments to the Constitution. I'm sure you've heard of them.
Yeah, a lot of them. Thank God.
Yeah, there's 26 or so.
Yeah.
The 14th one is at the end of the Civil War, there was 2 amendments that were added to the Constitution in rapid succession. One is the 13th Amendment.
Thank God.
Which abolished slavery except if we convict you of something. Which is often left out of when people talk about it.
They don't like to talk about the other
right.
part of it.
Unless we convict you of something, which we can make up whenever we want.
Vagrancy laws.
Yes, sure. Why not?
What the hell are you doing over there?
Curfews or,
You don't have a job?
Right. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. There's also the 14th Amendment.
This is a tricky one.
Now, the 14th Amendment has a lot of parts to it.
Tricky one.
Okay. One of the parts of the 14th Amendment is that grants citizenship because you had all these folks who were not U.S. citizens while they were slaves, but now the war is over. They're not slaves. But are they citizens? Yes, they are. If you're born in the U.S. or to U.S.-born parents or the protectorates thereof, you're a U.S. citizen. That's one part of the 14th Amendment.
One part.
Another part of the 14th Amendment is equal access and due process under the law. This is the bit where it says that, the government can't favor one group or another. They have to give everybody has an equal opportunity and access to services or to court systems or any of this other stuff. It actually becomes the basis for the separate but equal doctrine that gets shattered by Brown. There is also...
The corporate person hides under this as well, too.
Yeah, it's true, right. Yeah. There is... Weirdly, Kennedy... there is also this weird thing in there about insurrection. Now, normally, this far away from a civil war, you're like, oh, well, that's just a dead, dangly bit of the amendment.
Past.
Right. But, no. And what it says is anybody who had held office and then engaged in insurrection is ineligible to hold office again. This is because a lot of the people who fought for the Confederacy or who raised arms against the United States or voted to secede or any of that were elected officials.
Right. But even though a lot of them were invited back in, and we kind of looked over that.
That was later, and they were given waivers for that. But on paper, if you had been a member of a group or if you had personally raised arms against the United States and engaged in insurrection, you are ineligible to serve in Congress, specifically. MTG has, as you can see from all of her photos, definitely raised her arms against the United States. She hates sleeves. This same group is successfully pursuing a lawsuit against Madison Cawthorn because he also definitely engaged in the insurrection against the United States. The messages are coming out. We're going to be able to connect the dots. It's all there. They were directing traffic at the very minimum, if not outright planning and causing the insurrection and all of that. So the judge looked at the filing and was like, yeah, this is definitely legit. So MTG goes to complain about it. She's like, can you believe that they're going to let the media into the courtroom to cover this story? And we're all like, well, it is open court, right?
Yeah,
like, it's not a FISA thing. Yeah. This is like just regular court. You know that anybody can come to court and sit there, right?
Like, how it should work. There are seats. I should be able to go sit down.
Pretty much how we do this in this country. She doesn't know that.
No, it's just Constitution.
It's the insurrection that she was trying to, that was the first thing she was going to do, is ban the media from the court. I don't know why. This is good, I think. Is it going to work?
I mean, we'll see.
Should it work?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's evident. If you don't like what we're doing here and you try to overthrow that and you lose, now if they won, right?
That's a whole different thing. Now they
story.
Won. That's their country now.
Whatever.
We would leave.
All right,
if you don't like it, you can get out. Seems like an option.
Yeah, if that was the case, you lost.
You lost. Yeah. South Carolina lost.
Yeah.
They had to change their flag. Mississippi took them another 100 years. But,
they lost.
They lost. Sometimes you lose. It's okay. Coach K lost. It happens eventually. Even Brady lost a couple of Super Bowls to Eli. So,
lost cause.
This next one, right, Brady, we know. Anyway, this next one is called More Consequences. Now,
keep them coming. Our friend
Tez's favorite guy, Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. Oh, the graphics are so good tonight.
He's in some trouble. What's he in trouble for, Tez?
Well, he's in trouble for the Sandy Hook and how he came at that. But this story here is bankruptcy, I believe, right?
That's correct.
Yes.
He has decided.
I don't know if that's trouble. It might be good for him.
Well, he's trying to get out of having to pay these fines or whatever. Because the judgments have come down against him, and he owes like $80 million. He has filed for, the companies that he runs have filed for bankruptcy, which would sort of protect them from having to pay out on some of this stuff.
Prison Planet TV
Yeah, I think it's really funny. The name of his two companies, Prison Planet TV and IW Health. IW, I assume, is InfoWars.
Oh.
Which makes sense. InfoWars is brought to you by IW Health's ridiculous supplements. Want some sawdust pressed into pill form? Call Alex Jones. He'll sell you a bucket of it.
If you're allergic to sawdust, please don't.
Please shove some ivermectin up your ass and call Alex Jones. Because that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so the story at the time we went to print was that he was going to declare bankruptcy, I would imagine, to try to get out of having to pay all this stuff that he owes. But then new stuff happened, which is he called up the J6 committee and was like, all right.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he said, I'll talk.
I want to talk.
Yeah.
Okay. And they said, we would love to listen. And he said, can you get me out of this lawsuit stuff? And they said, you should find out how many branches of government there are.
Another one.
We're not that one. No, but we would still love it if you wanted to come talk. And he's like, well, maybe we can get something out of this. And they're like, look, if it's good enough and you got the details, maybe we don't refer you to, the Justice Department for prosecution.
Oh, and then also, too, I see the trial is supposed to be held next week.
Yeah,
So
the one that he's not going to show up for.
Well, yeah, no.
Because that's part of why he lost all these things. He just refused to show up. He was like, this is a fake trial. I'm not coming. And they're like, well,
yeah, that's smart.
It's not how that works.
Yeah, come hit.
I wish I could do that.
You know how I was on there? Which from some of these tickets I had?
Here's your speeding ticket.
Oh, these police.
No, that's a fake ticket. It's bullshit. I'm not showing up. I don't know. I'm going to try it next time. I'm bankrupt. You'll not get your $37.50 in court costs. Maryland. What kind of bullshit state is that? Is Maryland even a state?
Don't do that.
Why do we let them in?
Don't do that.
I'm wearing an Old Bay hat.
Exactly. I was going to say, don't do that. It's your beloved Baltimore Orioles.
What the fuck was that?
Exactly. What's going on? Get that out of here.
What are we doing with Alex Jones here? Do we want to listen to it? Do you think he has anything for the J6 stuff?
I know, yeah.
Do you think he does? I mean, because here's the question. The guy talks like he does.
Yeah.
He acts like he was directly involved in the planning. But he's also a bumbling idiot.
He is.
It's now, I understand that the Trump people are all bumbling idiots, right? Release the Kraken and such.
Come on now. Right?
But I think it's entirely possible that they all just kind of like strung him along and let him play at insider guy. And they don't tell him anything because they know he's a blabbermouth. He's just going to give him up.
I just want him to go into the committee hearings and just start singing.
You know what the problem is?
Yeah.
All the gay frogs.
Exactly. I want him to do that.
I was with Trump when he said, the frogs. We've got to stop the frogs.
But I need...
And they're going to be like, sir, we asked you what you were doing on January 5th. And he's going to be like...
And maybe it's a waste of time because who says he doesn't go and do something crazy like that?
Yeah,
Like
what's to stop him from just walking in there and going on this like miles-long rant about crazy shit?
He still is claiming that all those little kids didn't get killed.
I think
has he come around on that?
I think he said that he was just asking if that really happened or not.
He's just asking questions. Just asking questions.
Yeah, I also don't know that it's legitimate to give people like that a platform. I mean, he's got his own platform, but I'm saying, like, should Congress, should the J6, should the 12 or so people trying to save the Republic's very soul, should they give a guy like this the platform to enter into the record the most insane, crazy bullshit you could possibly imagine?
Yeah, that's a good point. Because what
are you going to do with
that? They probably have a board of I don't know what you do, but they have a board of folks who they can connect the dots of what happened on January 6th. And I don't know if they look at Alex Jones and be like, all right. I mean, he was at the rally, right?
He was there on the 5th. And was he ginning people up at Freedom Plaza. I think he was there at the 6th doing his show. I don't think he was one of the speakers.
He was there he was on a live spot.
It's all I mean, I think
at location in Freedom Plaza.
I think if like Raskin and Cheney and Benny, like if they have a board like that, like you're talking about connecting the dots, I think they've got Jones on the board, and I think they probably have the red yarn like circuitously bypassing him, as everybody who's actually in on this thing is intentionally skipping him. Because I have a feeling that even in the right-wing world, people look at Alex Jones kind of the way we look at Alex Jones.
And he serves a purpose. He's there to, you know, spew conspiracy theories and rile up.
And bubble up stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You want something to bubble up, you can pass it through the conduits of 4chan up to Alex Jones, which then will end it up on Tucker. And then it's out of Trump's mouth, and then it's real, which is how the world works now.
I saw it on Fox News.
That's true, right? Many people are saying. Oh, Brian has thoughts.
No, well, not just thoughts. I feel like, Alex Jones, I know he seems like an aggressive guy and things like that. So, but I think
he's a bit of a baby.
Big baby. Yes, he is a big baby.
Remember when he cried in court about how he just wanted to eat cheeseburgers and float in his pool?
Yeah. So now
that was in his divorce hearing.
Right. So I found something for the break.
Good.
So he has a sensitive side. He does have a sensitive side. And this is his plea to Congress to say, hey, ease up on me.
Okay.
I'm excited.
I can't wait for this song in the break. All right, you ready to get to the break?
Get this out of here.
Let's do it. All right, you're listening to Chip Chat on Rip Radio Network.
Sweeps.
The company store, the paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're on giant death factories, keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy weird sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot-bellied goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions upon people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I'm Chip, and that's Tess. And that was Tess's best friend, Alex Jones.
I love when I see these for the first time. Oh, my God.
What a good find, Brian. That's a classic.
Literally pot-belly vampire goblins.
Yes. I don't think that's nice to say about Lauren Boebert.
Oh, shit. Oh. Those things make me so happy. They shouldn't know because they're so bad. They're so...
No, I have the same reaction. And even if I've seen them 100 times, I still laugh so hard at this.
Oh,
the non sequitur word salad aspect of an Alex Jones rant is unbelievable.
Literally potbelly vampire goblins.
I'd love to know what he was actually referring to.
Hillary.
You know, yeah, right. You know what it reminds me of is this week we saw the slide deck of Jared's pitch to MBS for the $2 billion. And it was...
is this a story where like... We're
going to maximize benefits through integrity and action or whatever.
Like the advisors to MBS is like, we've done a lot of research on this, and everything that we see about this doesn't seem to me like it's going to make any money.
It is just this like string of buzzwords that means nothing. It is the most vacuous word salad bullshit you could possibly imagine.
Indeed.
Yeah, and so we can do that too. If you're listening, we will take your $2 billion. For $2 billion...
Well, I'm not gonna take. We can't take the MBS money.
Yeah, we can split it. You can have $1 billion. I'll take the $1 billion. We will be just as good at. We'll be just as good at investing it as Jared, which is to say, not.
I'm putting it on the Rip Radio.
I'm gonna buy. The Washington football team out from under Danny.
How much is he giving?
I don't care. If I walk in there swinging $1 billion and I can get financing like that.
Yeah.
Hey, give me the team. Get the fuck. It's either that or I'm buying Everton.
Oh.
We have a derby this weekend.
You do.
While we're still in Premier League.
Still have it. Everton, I think we play you at the end of the last. I think you're the last.
Yeah, we still have one more game with you, I think.
Yeah, the last match.
We tied Leicester this week.
Yeah,
which we needed that point.
I don't know. That could get really crazy. Look at
there it is. Yeah, it's Merseyside derbies this weekend.
There it is.
While we still get to have them. See, if we get relegated, no derbies.
Oh, I hope you guys don't get relegated.
No, well.
But we got to beat you guys at the end of the season. So hopefully we already have it wrapped up, or we just don't even start.
You can just play nobody.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we think is going to happen on Sunday, that Liverpool is so focused on all of the other leagues that they're in. You know, because they're in FA final.
Right.
They're in Champions. They're in Europa. So they don't care about a derby against almost relegated Everton. That's what I am hoping for. But
a crack at the bridge, Arsenal.
And that Thiago or maybe Salah or one of those guys steps on a rake or something. It'd be all right.
Those Arsenal fans.
Yeah, you guys had a
Chelsea.
Tough, we took tough derby too.
Well, yeah, but we pulled it out, man. Yeah. The youngsters.
It's a good win.
It was the needed. That could be really bad.
Anytime Chelsea loses feels good.
Yes.
I just really enjoy that.
Like when Roman got sanctioned.
Yeah, well, he doesn't own them anymore. Nominally. Okay. This segment is called Florida Sucks.
Putting the vaccine into salad dressing.
That's it.
We don't have a guess. We can instead of Florida now, we just go Florida Sucks.
Florida Sucks. Florida Sucks for two main reasons today. Okay. Number one, they got mad at math books. You know why? Because of all those Arabic numerals in them.
Oh.
Yeah, they're terrorists. That's definitely what's going on. So Florida, like most states, has these sort of state education commissions that review textbooks. This is where Tez will say the words McGraw-Hill over and over. So just
get
ready for that.
Yeah, I'm relaxing. I'll get
okay, and usually the conflict is about history books or occasionally about like language arts or stuff because there's like, assigned reading or whatever. This is the first time I've heard about a state being mad about a math book. You sometimes get it with the science where they want the like creationist caveat printed on the inside, and they're like, some people believe that the Earth is 6,000 years old, and they're like, those people are fucking morons. But no, we're mad about math now.
Yes.
Now, you may remember a few years ago that one of the weird things that the right wing got very upset about is Common Core math. If you know anything about education, you know that the words Common Core mean nothing. There is no curriculum called Common Core. The movement, the idea of Common Core, was about having states more or less standardize what they're teaching so that if you pass high school in one state, it is recognized that you know roughly the same stuff as somebody who passed high school in another state. Which you take for granted would be true, right? You think that everything you learned in high school is the same as what everybody else learned in high school. But there's a wide difference.
Not the case.
What I learned in high school in Virginia turns out to be mostly not true about history. The science part was right, but the history was completely bullshit. I had to unlearn a lot of stuff. If you graduate high school in Mississippi, you have roughly the education of a 4-year-old in other states that can read.
Oh, God.
If you graduate high school in Tennessee, you think the southern border of Tennessee needs a wall. That's what we're talking about. We should have standards.
There should be
And the idea was to raise standards, by the way, because otherwise there's this race to the bottom idea of like, all right, well, we all just got to hit the North Dakota standard and we'll be fine. Like North Dakota standard is go inside when it's cold. You pass because it's cold in North Dakota.
Hey,
do you know North Dakota is cold? I mean, it's called North Dakota. Do you know South Dakota is also cold?
It's kind of up there.
It's right up there, right? Well, I don't know. I mean, we did not learn about square states. That's one of the things that were not taught to us in Virginia. We were taught about the 13 colonies. And then after that, nothing happened for a really long time. And then Douglas Wilder was elected governor, making him the first black governor. And Virginia was the best of all of the states.
There it is.
And then almost nothing else happened until now. That's how I remember history.
Wow.
The Revolution, colonies, good. Revolution, good. Doug Wilder.
Again, that is...
It's, Okay, so they're mad about these math books, but what are they actually mad about in here?
I would have to assume it's critical race theory.
That's right. They're mad about critical race theory and gay math.
Exactly. You know where?
Wait till they find out those numbers are non-binary.
I like that one.
It's going to hurt.
The answers, well, the answers are always in the back of the book. For the
That's
math.
true. Yeah,
at least the even or the odd. I guess was it odd? It depends on the book.
It's usually the odd ones.
The odd ones, I think.
Well, the Republicans don't ever want anybody looking in the backside.
There you go.
To get anything. I don't know. So, what could there possibly be of critical race theory in a math book? Okay, here's my guess. There was a word problem that said Greg got on a train in Tulsa heading west at such and such miles an hour.
Yes.
And then it went, and Jamal got on a train in Los Angeles heading east at such and such miles an hour. When did they meet? And the answer is they didn't, because that shouldn't be happening because this is America and they shouldn't be talking to each other.
You know why he was leaving Tulsa?
Well, but he was the white guy leaving Tulsa.
Oh, that's fair.
Jamal was leaving.
Los Angeles.
I
gotta be the reverse of
that.
It's gonna reverse of that. The migration didn't happen that way.
What could they possibly be?
First of all, they haven't found anything in these things, right?
Yeah, well, they didn't read them. I'm shocked.
They were like, they won't tell us what they are or what they say because it's a lie, right? Like there's no. They didn't find anything, I don't think, inside of the books. And they said, I get the goal. One of these quotes comes from the State House member, said, I get it. The goal of math is to solve problems with the Republican Party of Florida doesn't like to do.
It's amazing. I mean, look, there's a reason there's no, Republican comedians.
But it's crazy.
They're not funny.
They didn't tell them. They didn't tell them what they found in the books. They banned the books. They didn't say this is what we found. So, again, it's just these straw mans we throw up.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's what it is. It's grade A bullshit.
They probably had a number that they had to ban a certain amount of books, and they ran out of the books.
Yeah, they're like,
it's like, shit.
We've already banned all the ones with words. Let's go after the ones with the numbers.
It's probably a black person on the front of these books.
Right.
There's
a smiling black girl, and they're like, oh, that's two categories. Yeah, women in math and black women in math. They are going to be really upset when they find out who got the astronauts to the moon. Don't tell them. The other reason, of course, that Florida sucks, and this is going to, here's your bedfellows thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Pause. We are going to suspend stuff and make common cause with the mouse.
Yeah, make it.
For a minute, okay? We can stipulate that there is a lot wrong with Disney as a corporation and for its entire existence and over God knows how long, whatever, right? Whether it's all the racist shorts or whether it's like Peter Pan or Pocahontas.
Or the amount of money you got me spending, damn it.
How violently anti-gay they were through the 80s and 90s when they wouldn't let gay people hold hands in their theme parks. They got a lot of shit on their record. However, here's what happened. Florida banned gay people, despite the fact that Key West is in Florida. And the Mouse was like, we would rather you didn't. It was a very tepid, like, we don't want
and then they almost retracted it, and then they put it back out. There was something like around that.
Yeah,
like, it was
they were kind of dancing around it.
They were dancing around it at first. And then they're like, no, we don't believe it.
Right. And they
because it's bad business.
Yes, they triangulated correctly that the most of the country is, at the minimum, fine with the existence of LGBT people. Like, fine with. You don't even have to, you don't have to kiss them. You don't have to hold hands. You don't have to love them. You just have to be like, yeah, that's whatever.
Tolerance.
Yeah, you can be apathy. Apathy is the minimum that we're asking for, which I got to say is a great time to be apathetic. You look like a hero.
It's insane.
You mean you don't care about this? What a progressive soul you are.
Tolerance. Go ahead. Have some more tolerance.
Shit that doesn't affect me. Like high school football in Idaho. I don't care. Doesn't matter to anybody, even in Idaho, because nobody goes to high school. So
it's just taking them out.
The Mouse was like, we don't like this. And so the Republicans in Florida were like, oh, you want to play rough? Okay. And
what can you do to a business? What can you do to a business to say, oh, you want to play rough?
They literally
multi-billion-dollar business.
They literally canceled Disney's special business district that they had. They used the power of government to punish a corporation, which is a person, for using their First Amendment granted free speech.
Everything is backwards.
Yes.
I am saying, like, if you are a Republican and you see this, if you're not, Republicans don't exist anymore. If you have conservative values on this, around it, this
if you're a constitutionalist, if you believe in the First Amendment,
should make you irate.
It should. Remember that the First Amendment says that Congress shall pass no law abridging free speech.
Yeah.
Okay? Free speech. So if the Mouse wants to say, we're cool with gay people, that's free speech. They can say that. If you use the apparatus of government to punish them, that is in violation of the First Amendment. If people decide not to buy their stuff, that is not a violation of the First Amendment. So to be clear, various Republicans who listen to this show, people going, you know what, I don't want to buy their stuff anymore because they're anti-gay, is not canceling them. That's free people making free decisions in the free market about free speech.
Simple.
However, if a government entity goes, we are going to impose a consequence of some kind or another because a company or person has said a thing, that is a violation of the First Amendment.
Man, set your ass down.
Very, very clearly. Now, what did they do? They took away their basic self-governance thing. There is this like zone around Disney World where Disney controls everything. They can set, they run emergency services. They have their own police department. They have their own EMS. They have their own taxing authority.
Right.
They have all this stuff.
It's like Tacoma Park.
To be... I love the idea that Tacoma Park is some sort of Disney apparatus. It is. It's like it's a liberal Disneyland.
It is a liberal Disneyland.
It's not real, but it looks great. I think that sort of in a general sense, I don't think corporations should have governments over like real people inside the United States. I don't think that should be happening. I don't like that FIFA has an exclusion zone in Bolivia or whatever.
Right.
That's weird. Okay.
I get it though, because Florida's lawless.
Yeah, but right. So, like, if you're Disney and you're looking around at the greater Orlando area and you go, shit, this is barely functioning. Can we get our own government? And the barely functioning Florida government goes, yeah, it's fine. It's one less thing for us to worry about. We weren't worrying about it anyway. And they go, that's fine. And then Joel Greenberg and Matt Gaetz go back to banging children, and Florida is fine. Fine. Until DeSantis wants to run for president on a platform of hating free speech. I don't know what the end game here is. Where do they go with this? So what is the Disney retaliation? How do they get back at them?
Does Disney?
They can't
such
shut
a huge
down.
operation.
They can't just pick up and move. Right. So what do they do?
Where do they go?
Mean, they could get up and move.
They can go to Cali.
Well, they're already in Cali.
They already. That's what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
And
you already got established. Yeah, you already got established in California, so you can just pack up and go.
You gotta have it east.
Well, they're all over the place. I mean, they've got their own island in the Caribbean. They
can go there too.
Yeah.
But I think more likely is, how would you like to run for office with help from Mouse Pack and the Mouse Super PAC? If you thought that these super PACs, unregulated and with ungodly amounts of money, were dangerous before, imagine one that has Captain America and Luke Skywalker and Bluey
and Dora the Explorer
and the Simpsons campaigning for you. Like the amount of money and media control that Disney has brought to bear for the right reasons could be completely unstoppable. And I'm not saying they should do that.
Yeah, because we're getting to really tricky.
Because we are getting it right. We're
there.
Right now, we're making common cause with the mouse.
Yeah.
If you'd have asked me 20 years ago how I thought about Disney, I would have said they're a bunch of bigots. I don't want to have anything to do with them. Which I'm still kind of saying. But they got this one right. I don't know.
It's just, again, it's just bad. They understand that law is bad for business, number one.
Right.
And
because gay people spend money too.
Yeah. It's just again, we always talk about this, but it's like the Republican Party could be very popular. They just got away from hate.
Yeah. I mean, dangerously popular.
Yeah.
Like they could punish workers for existing and just not hate them for the color of their skin. They could do that.
Easily.
Yeah, and they'd have a lot of help, right? They could have all the other, upper middle class people of color or, LGBT folks voting Republican. They would have them all. I don't like those scummy workers either, I don't want those plumbers in the same room as me. Get them out of here. Yeah. Right. Farm workers. Right, yeah. They could be anti-union. I'm sure Disney hates unions. I'm sure they could find a lot in common there. Is there a Disney Workers Union in Florida?
Yeah, it has to
I'm
be.
sure there is, but I'm saying, like, I'm sure they don't like it.
Well, no one likes it.
There's no company except for like Volkswagen has ever invited a union to their shop.
That's right.
And Volkswagen was like, "Could you come unionize our shop? We're tired of running it. It's a lot of effort." Because they're German and they're seeking efficiency.
And again, I get it. Your corporate interests in your union might seem like, why would we give them any type of power? Why would we bargain with them? They're workers.
Right. Those cogs.
What do they do? What do they do? I can see it. What do they do?
Well, it's the Eddie Izzard line, right? Oh, you're a plumber. What on earth is that? Like,
Exactly.
I've come down to the factory floor. I see one of these automatons generating income for me. Automaton, my name is Tim. No, I got to do that. We should do that. Should unionize the robots.
But
those dancing bears at Disney, they need representation.
I do think, and you joke around though, there might be a time where we might have to have these very, very scary questions.
iRobot.
Answer them.
Would you?
I've seen iRobot like 3 times. It is like, it may be coming.
Would you run for office in a robot union?
Wait, hold on.
Would you help organize?
Run it for me one more time.
So, let's say you're working at a site that is combined robot and human.
Yeah.
And you're in a union, and it's part robot and part human union. Would you run for office in the robot union? You could be like a shop steward.
Am I included in that? Do I have
You're in the union. Right now it's combined.
I'm a dues paying member.
Yeah. Yeah, you could be in the union.
I don't. Those are the toughest questions of our time that we have yet to even.
Well, how would the robots need representation? How could they possibly represent themselves? They would need people to represent them.
You think that.
I do think
you
that.
think that.
You think that.
You think that, and that might not always be the case.
They don't. That's the problem.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. I understand that is and you're completely right right now.
They follow a program.
They follow a program. I'm saying it might get to a point where we have to figure out, like...
Where it gets hard to tell the difference between learning and machine learning. I understand that.
And then do we... Like, I don't want to get... I can't get into this right now. I know. I'm with you right now. It can
run computation.
At this point, yes. And I think what's more...
It can run computation to figure out which computation to run, which is close to thinking.
Let's think less of the robots, because the robots are one piece. But more so when... humans get more advanced, right? When people are able to afford like nanotechnology that allows them to live longer, or like
the mods in Star Wars,
or like if your arm is like bioengineered arm, like
Luke Skywalker in Star Wars.
Those right? Those are the questions I think more so about, like, is that person's like.
Are they people?
I don't know. I don't even want to have this conversation right now because I'm reading a book about this, and it's very scary.
What if only
very scary.
What if only 3/5 of them is robotic?
Well, then you know what they do. They're not a person.
Oh, right. Okay.
Of course.
That's why anime, I love anime, because the possibility of the future is all in some of their shows they put out there. Yeah, it can play out there. The best one, I think, would be Ghost in the Machine, for your example. So, I'm not sorry, not Ghost in the Machine, Ghost in the Shell.
I'm not going to read things either.
Well, it's not a, you can watch, like I said, there's a movie, Scarlett Johansson's in it, so if you want to see that. So... She's a fellow.
Yeah, I know. She's a tribes member.
Yeah.
She and I are cousins, I'm sure. Yes. But it's not, I don't, my favorite thing about ScarJo is that she married Jost, which is, she got lucky there. Funny guy from Staten Island. There's only two of them.
And also, too, when we look at these, whatever humans or whatever they're considered later on, right? If they be transcend beyond Homo sapien, right, to something different.
Don't say trans anything. They'll be banned in Florida.
Banned in Florida. Again.
Well, someone did say Transformers. So.
Remember, right? I think we can look at the way that we treat, like, the animals, and Lord, we better cross our fingers. And
that the robots don't turn on us like that.
Like, well, what do we really need? Like,
they can eat us too.
This put them to work.
Right.
I have to do something. I'm telling you. There's a lot of questions.
Does Optimus Prime belong to Disney? Is Transformers Prime?
No, that's still under Hasbro.
The whole Transformers franchise?
Yeah, that's completely separate.
It's not, okay.
Yeah. I was going to say, is that Bandai? But that's not.
No, but so that's what Disney should do. Disney should buy the Transformers.
No. You do that, you really fucked up.
All right, look here. Maybe we shouldn't have.
No, because then they'd have to say Transformers all the time.
Oh God,
in Florida. All right, this is a long way to get to this thing, but I've been mulling over the solution to all of this.
Oh Lord.
Okay, and the solution is for the Biden administration, who's out there right now promoting all the stuff from Infrastructure Week.
Election,
yeah. And they should inject a bunch of money into transportation projects in Florida. And they should.
We're going to transform transportation.
Send Mayor Pete and his husband down to go as Secretary of Transportation to go talk about this new highway called the Two Husbands Highway. That is
Where is the Two Husbands Highway? Where is it? Where does that run through?
It runs from Key West to someplace, of course. But but it alleviates traffic for millions of people, and what a great thing it is. And I'm so happy that me and Chasten can bring our kids down here and see this firsthand, and what a glorious thing it is that the people of Florida get to have this highway. And they should have Mayor Pete going with his husband, going to Florida every single time a transit dollar is spent in Florida at the federal level. And just to watch them have to cover it, right? Yeah. Every newspaper in Florida would be like, oh, well, Mayor Pete was here to promote the highway with his husband. Oh, shit, sorry. Can't print that part.
Free speech again.
Right.
There it is again.
You see? I think
no.
You can have that one, Joey B. It's good. It's good.
Good
policy.
I'm sure he's listening.
Saki listens. She's in.
For now.
No, she's still going to listen after she gets Maddo's job. She's going to do the, No, she called me the other day. She's like, can I come on the show? I was like, no. We don't let redheads on the show.
Oh.
That's not being prejudiced. They're not people.
Discrimination.
Right. No. But they're daywalkers. That's fine. No,
your name's on the show. Look.
That's fine. All right. Let's take a quick break. Because when we come back.
Yeah, we just go into it. Yeah.
We want to talk. We
want to be brief with. We
want to give Uncle Timmy a little moment.
Yeah.
But then we want to talk about what's happening to our fair city.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You're listening to Chip Chat on Ripped Radio Network.
Sweeps.
That's why. Oh, there's energy, and now we're done with Trump. You said he was the Messiah. You said he was invincible. I will not suffer your Q people after this. I knew what you were day one. I know what you are now. Witches and warlocks are full of shit. Pumpkin and popsums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of its lies. Because you're lying. That's why every goddamn thing out of your people's mouths doesn't come true. You said it was all over. You told us stuff. You. Oh, God. Witches and warlocks are full of shit. Pumpkin and popsums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of its lies. Because you're lying. That's why witches and warlocks are full of shit. Pumpkin and popsums, I'm sick of it.
You keep interrupting me.
And all of its lies. Because you're lying. That's why. Because every goddamn.
It just ends.
Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
Sweeps. Let's pop it out. Lord, those things make me so happy.
Man. All right. So, thank you, Alex Jones, for a wonderful break. We want to talk about our favorite senator.
Yeah, from the great state of South Carolina.
Yeah.
Representing the Republican Party.
Yeah. And who else?
My brother,
yeah.
Tim Scott.
That's your buddy.
That's my buddy there. All right, so Tim Scott, he's going to a library. Can you guess what presidential library Tim Scott goes to?
Well, I've been told that people who look like him can't read and shouldn't be allowed in the library, but that's a different library.
Yeah, it's been told many times.
Yeah. I don't know, the MLK library. Sounds reasonable. It's right near the Capitol.
It might be in the
very convenient
Bezos wing.
Yes, right, in the Bezos wing. That's right.
No, he is in the great state of California.
Oh, the Nixon Library.
Reagan.
Oh,
so close. So yes, so I believe he was there on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So he was there on Tuesday. And he's going to deliver a speech, and the name of the speech is called
John Hinckley was right. No, sorry.
Time for Choosing.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
And
this is going to go well.
Be more, the speech is part of the Time for Choosing conservative speaker series.
Okay.
All right.
There's a series of conservatives who speak.
Right. And Scott is going there to say he's proof of conservatism lifting Americans of color. And he wants to go there to bash President Biden and Democrats over inflation and national security threats.
Cool. Okay.
Cool. All right. Whatever. Cool. Different opinions. Whatever.
Bootstraps,
again,
all that stuff.
This is always interesting, and I don't say I'll tiptoe around this, but based on his policy choices and again, bedfellows, right, who you decide to be in bed with, I do have to look critical and I'm just asking questions of the only black Republican United States senator.
Oh, well, it turns out there are more black Republicans, though. We have a list. Brian, would you please show everybody the list of black Republicans?
On this list?
There you go. There's Sheriff David Clark, Herman Cain, who is dead, Ben Carson, who, one day, and then Ben Shapiro is somehow on this list of black Republicans, black conservatives, because Newsmax couldn't even find 4. Apparently, there's no photo of Alan Keyes.
And look, I understand why the Republican Party puts Scott out there. I'm pretty sure he's really great at fundraising. I can see Karen's running. Oh my God!
I donated to the Black Republican. I can't be racist. It's
easy,
the same
super
thing.
simple.
We talked about that last time,
right? But even let's just strip away from just what he's saying in the speech, because the speech, I haven't seen anything around the actual full speech yet, but the excerpts that have been out there.
Inflation is as violent as a mugger, as frightening as an armed robber, and as deadly as a hitman.
That just said once by President Reagan.
Yeah, right. Way to get some, I don't know, what do you want to call that? Like black criminality somehow looped in with inflation?
Right. And obviously we're going to tie into our last story there, right? Parents have the right to know what their kids are being taught in the classroom, and teaching kids that they're the oppressor is just as bad as teaching kids they are always going to be victims. That's a quote also from this speech. President Biden's weakness on the global stage has emboldened terrorists, bullies, and dictators. Bloodthirsty dictators like Putin only understand strength, and that's what we must project from the United States. All right, let's just take that one.
I need you to do me a favor, though.
What?
No, that's the thing.
Oh, my God. Oh, Lord. Because that one really just...
Remember when he got that soccer ball from Putin in Helsinki, and he was like, it's fine.
The president that you support, that you might be a running mate with, I guess maybe on the ticket in 2024.
Hang Mike Pence.
He's the one who kind of reached out to President Zelensky and was like, hey, you know what? If you could go ahead and do this. And then when he said we weren't going to do this, we're like, hold on, we're going to withhold aid.
I need you to do me a favor, though. That is the exact quote from the quote-unquote perfect phone call.
Right. It also says that Scott is going to also call for energy independence, a physical barrier on the southern border, and we'll take a swipe at the 1619 project.
Yes. Well, okay. So we are energy independent and have been since, what's that guy? Before, he was also a black guy. And he was a politician. He was the first, one of those, what's his name? Obama. Him. We've been energy independent. We've been a net exporter of oil since Obama.
And like even the swipe at the 1619 project, it's like, all right, it just seems that you're being. I know you're there to fundraise. That's your part. I get again. This is the values that you think are important.
You have thrown your lot in with these people, who in 1619 would have thrown you in with those people.
But again, it's not that surprising to me because you could go back way back. I mean, again,
not way back.
Well, no, I
you can go back to his parents.
Yes.
Not being able to vote.
Oh, no. Yes, but I think this philosophy more so, I like to sometimes refer to as like kind of this Booker T. Washington philosophy is like, yo, all right, like,
if we work and educate ourselves, we can
He's not going as far as saying like stay out of politics. And even with Booker T. Washington, even with that, it took me more
Shut up
years.
And dribble.
It took me more years to respect kind of, I guess, what the again, where you were born at. And I can't discredit that. Like when you're born in the South. I don't think
Booker T could have possibly imagined another
come on now.
alternative.
Right. He couldn't imagine that there would be a senator like Tim Scott saying what he's saying.
Not a chance.
It wouldn't even that wouldn't even compute.
No.
I don't agree with your bedfellows. I don't agree with, again, they didn't even help you pass your crime bill.
No.
They didn't help.
Well,
they didn't even have any teeth.
No.
And they still didn't let you do it. So I don't know, man. God bless you, brother. And I remember listening. I think Cory Booker he's had some like kind words for him as well too. And I can imagine,
and he tries.
Yeah, and I can imagine as well too. Like I don't really get it honestly. It seems kind of crazy, but you might just the prism you look through might be a little bit different than mine. And hey, look,
you think they nod to each other when they walk in the Senate floor across?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Hey, I see you.
Yeah,
like,
come on,
some
man.
shit goes down. We got each other.
Yeah, I would hope.
And Corey's like, nah. You brought the shit, buddy.
Again, the party that you.
The people who stormed the Capitol would have hung him immediately.
And that's what's really like kind of like I don't even know how to describe it in the sense.
He would have been shot dead on the spot.
Yeah, like
Tim Scott can't drive home without worrying about being stopped by the police that he claims to support, except when they're the Capitol Police. It has got to be. You know what? I feel bad for him though because it's got to be very complicated.
Yes. Oh yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Because at any given moment, like the two sides of his brain are at complete odds with each other, right?
And he's not oblivious to like his experience. And I'm pretty sure
he has to cognitively talk himself.
He's had the experience.
Yeah, but he has to cognitively unblack himself all the time. He was like, but I'm succeeding and I'm a senator. We're like, yeah, but you're still black and the cops don't care.
What about the rest of us?
People don't care.
What about the rest of us? Even if you succeeded,
crab out of the barrel, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I always have I do have an issue with obviously his politics and his views, but again, I'm always I don't want to say tiptoeing around it, but it's like, all right, I almost try to come through it from a place of empathy, but it's like yo, the people that you've chosen to like rock with is kind of insane. And like if it's just conservative values, I think we could even have a discussion there. And I think a lot of black folk would be with you.
Yes.
I like democracy.
Right.
Even as shitty as it is. I like that. I don't know, because I don't know how to operate in fascism. That's all I say. That's my only thing.
Well, you better learn.
It's coming soon to a theater near you.
So Tim Scott is a black man in Washington, D.C.
Yes, he is.
Which makes him a rarer breed than he used to be.
Yeah.
If you want to think about it, right?
This is true.
So let's talk about what has happened to Chocolate City, USA.
All right. Look at these dead-ass birds. I get this. So instead of talking about the climate this week for our TED Talk, we're going to go ahead and just talk about gentrification.
I think it's tied.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is tied. Right. So Politico did they're doing a series called The Next Great Migration, and it's exploring the exodus of black people from American cities. So it's not just DC. And the piece is well done. I think it's well done. And honestly, we could
much like the way black folks like their steak.
Oh, look at this. Look at you. No, that's
incorrect.
That is incorrect. There's no one there. Look, it's a misnomer.
My mother-in-law likes well-done steak, and I refuse to serve it to her.
That's right.
No, I won't. I stop it at medium, and then if she wants it past that,
you got to go do it yourself.
You can go nuke it yourself. We're not doing that.
And again, we could do three whole shows on this the reporting.
Probably
on this article.
A year and a half.
A year and a half, right? And again, what the article is doing is just among cities with the most black residents, 9 out of 10 had decreased since 2000.
Houston being the exception.
Yes,
Houston's the only city of the top 10 where the black population grew as a percentage of the total city population.
Correct. So
where are they all going?
Right. Great question. And I think
Fulton County,
right now. Yeah. I mean, look, we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
let's see.
Well, I mean, we might
Stacey
need more.
Abrams.
We might need more because based on the way they're trying to take away the vote.
Fulton County, Harris County, Texas. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So these it's again happening around the country, but remember, kind of DC is special in the sense that it's the nation's first large city with a majority black population,
and we've had only black mayors.
And that milestone, right, that happened in the 50s. And that obviously happens because I think I look at it as a combination. I look at it even further back, being that emancipation starts here first.
Right.
And that brings all, like, black folk are coming to DC since then. Like,
right.
Yeah. So that, but then also,
well, and during the war, the federal government controls the district.
Right.
So if they want to make an example or do something and have emancipation, it can happen here first.
Right. And imagine if you hear that, and even if you're in the surrounding areas, you end up...
you're protected. You're safe.
Right. So I think it starts there. But it happens, like, people forget, like, white folks live in Anacostia.
Yeah.
Branch Avenue, all those type of things you can see by the houses that are there that like, come on now.
Yeah.
Right? So, but again, white folks leave. They leave in the 50s, and they go run to the suburbs, okay? Right. And I think you have black power, it has a double meaning in D.C., right? Because... it's a black political power that's in D.C.
It's not the Huey Newton kind of black power.
I think there's a combination of that, and you see that in the city, right? And there's like self-determination and like self-defense, but the power, like the actual power, like, and once home rule happens, it's like, yo, all these black people in the city have power, and it's like they have like they're in government positions. Again,
and it turns out they just sort of are mostly like every other, technocrats, bureaucrats, and whatever else. They just run the city.
Yeah, exactly.
They just, like, who's the sanitation department manager? Oh, it's this guy. Is he black? Yeah, sure, whatever. Like, the trucks still come. It's not,
right.
It just sort of demonstrates like basic functionality.
These people can run their government.
Turns out black folks can run a city.
Oh,
and not just little tiny cities, but like full size cities full of people.
And also to keep this in the back of your mind that this is in the shadow of the federal government.
Right.
So getting through this article, right, they're talking a lot about displacement. And I think it's good to think about, like, well, how did we get here, right? How do we get to this mass exodus from D.C.?
Is it an exodus or is it an influx?
Well, yes, like, that's the new resident. Yes,
that's the question. Is it that black folks are leaving?
Yes, a lot.
Or is it
and not just black folks as well too. In the story as well, DC is losing a lot of residents from like the 70s up to 2000.
Okay, so because that's the question, right? You can shift the percentage by either a lot of people moving in or by people moving out or some combination of the two.
Right.
And I think it's the third one, right? We've got people moving, black folks moving to the burbs and getting out of Dodge, and white folks moving into the district.
Yes, and I think you got to think of, well, why did that necessarily happen? Obviously, crack is
because white people moved into the city.
Well, but
I don't want to live around them either. That's why I live in the suburbs. You ever live around like urban pioneer white people? You know you know what I'm talking about, right?
Exactly.
White people who don't own a single Marvin Gaye record but love the mural of him on their building.
That's those white
that they pay $3,000 a month for their one bedrooms.
It's to me a little bit, as I read through this article, right? I've always thought you have kind of like an activist government, or you kind of have a government that usually is quote unquote like good government, but I usually bends to the whim of, like, in this case in DC, developers. And all right, I think let's start in 2000.
We've sort of flexed back and forth between the two.
We had, because we've went with like Barry. And
we swing it hard.
Super activist. Government. That's activist government.
Right.
But then also too, right, if we're just being transparent, the reason, like, and I think there's a lot that goes into that, but the DC government's financials were obviously not in, like.
Well, and then we got this city manager imposed on us by the
Congress is like, well, but there's a lot that goes into that because, again, the 80s were really the end of the 80s were really difficult for the city.
Yeah, but I think, look, it looks to me like if you have an activist black government in the district, it can only last as long as Congress is willing to tolerate it.
Fair.
They will do any and everything they can to trip that up. And have demonstrated that all the time. Right, it doesn't look good. If the narrative is that black folks can't run government effectively and that activist governments or, I don't know, let's just call them like outwardly people-centric liberal governments.
Exactly, for the people.
Governments for the people, of the people, by the people are inherently dangerous or radical. Well, yeah. So if you've got one on your doorstep and you're Congress, then of course, you have the ability to stop it dead in its tracks. If they start making progress, Barry puts in summer jobs and gives kids, what do? They mess that all up. They shut down the buses. They shut down the trains. Like the whole thing is unfortunately, because DC doesn't have legitimate home rule.
Right.
Any success is met with this backlash immediately.
Yeah, because they can't. It's hard to see that on the doorstep of Congress.
You see Barry doing well, you make Sharon Pratt Kelly the mayor. Like that's the rules.
And then Barry gets elected, and again
comes back
because the city is
from prison.
We're prison, right? Exactly. And then we get into 2000, and then who do we elect?
We got Tony Williams.
Anthony Williams, right? He takes the helm, right? He takes the helm to start a millennium, right?
He was the city manager. He's supposed to be the good governance guy.
He comes in
it's not an activist.
He comes in first in 95, based Congress appoints him into that. But then he runs a solid campaign, and there's a void there. No, he ran just a regular solid campaign in 2000.
I will keep the trains running on time kind of guy.
Right. So he wins, right? And again, let's just talk about Tony Williams. He's Harvard educated. He rocks a bow tie. Like, again, he kind
of talks like this.
Yeah, that's a really good impression. Yeah. Congress puts him in, or it's a control board. So he kind of already is getting the financials in 5 years prior to him actually taking the helm. So he takes office. DC population is at its smallest since the Great Depression, right? In the year 2000, we had 572,000 folks in here, right? In 1930, there were 486,000.
So we haven't made a lot of progress.
Right, so it was getting really crazy, right? And he's a Harvard man. He knows numbers, right? So he says his big thing is like, I want 100,000 new residents.
Let's not qualify that Harvard thing too much because Beer Can Brett's a Harvard guy.
That's fine, but Harvard.
He's DC guy too.
He's a DC guy.
I'm
as well,
saying,
right?
all right.
But it's like, all right. Well, why do you want these residents, right? Because more residents mean
tax
more
base.
people. Yeah, it's a tax base. It's
Tax
smart.
base. Deliver services.
It's smart.
You want to deliver services for the people you already got here. You need more people to move in. Start paying the taxes.
And here's the quote from Williams.
Pretty basic, man.
Here's the quote from Tony Williams. That was the goal, that it was inclusive and represented a diverse influx of people to the city, right? That's his end quote there, right? But the people who the people were did matter, right? Because we have a height restriction in DC, right? You can't
density rules.
Right? You can't like just force everybody into one block like you could in New York, right? With a huge high rise. A lot of the land is controlled, as we were talking about, right, by the federal government. So you can't get property tax off.
You've also got all these ANCs and all this other stuff around here. So it makes it very difficult to build anything, let alone high density anything, anywhere in the district.
It seemed that way, though. It seemed it was, for people to build. Yeah, it was hard to build things for people. It seemed that way.
For the people.
For the people. But his plan worked, right? In the financial reporting, and they talk about this in the story, right, that DC collected. So in 2000, they collected $3.1 billion in taxes. And this is income, property, and sales tax.
Right.
By 2020, that's $8.1 billion.
Yeah, so it's more than double.
It's insane. So what else happens, though, right? From 2000 to 2010, the number of black residents, it just plummets. It drops from
Chinatown cut in half.
39,000, right? They leave like 39,000 between 2000 and 2010, while the city's white residents, that rose by more than 50,000.
14th Street changed overnight. Like the difference of what 14th Street,
you know it. Like,
driving up 14th Street.
You don't understand it unless you saw it.
Yeah.
You don't understand
it. It's unrecognizable. Unrecognizable.
My dad used to go to there's an auto shop where there's a condo now, obviously, or a luxury apartment. It's not even condos, luxury apartment. It's called Petrovich.
Yeah.
And it was an auto shop there, but like around it, it wouldn't make sense to anybody who saw it now.
So like one of my favorite places to go watch rock and roll shows is the Pinch. Okay. And it's up there like Columbia Heights, you know, it was always kind of like a schlep to get there. You got to take the Green Line. Didn't exist. The Green Line is only part-time on the Yellow Line or whatever.
Right.
All right. But like driving up that way now, I got lost because I don't recognize anything over there. Nothing.
What I remember to be like a Woolworths is now the Target.
Well, in your neighborhood.
Oh, that's insane. Like I tell people the landmark for folks in my neighborhood, I'm like, well, actually it depends on my neighborhood I grew up in.
No, but where you live now
is just insane. That's different.
I mean, I keep getting lost coming to pick you up. It does not look like Trinidad.
Yeah, trendy Trinidad.
It's unbelievable.
There's this one part of the article that I thought I thought was kind of crazy, right? So it says, but decades later, white people started to come back, including moving into this young lady's neighborhood of Petworth in Northwest DC, right? And it's just like, if you know Petworth, right, Tudor-style row houses, and they go up and down the block. When white folks moved in, and I can attest to this as well, too, it seemed like everything picked up speed. City services, things.
Yeah.
And like
because they knew how to complain, and they got because even a black city responds faster to white residents than it does to black residents.
And that's where...
Because racism is really deep.
It's really deep, right? And like the quote in the article is like, and I felt this lady as well too, she's like, Miss Smith, she's like, it makes you angry, right? And she was a retired property manager. She's like, we were never able to get anything done, but it seemed like once the white people started moving back in and they wanted things done, they got it done right away. That is what it is. All right, let's talk about a few other things.
Did benefit those residents that still were there.
Yes, if you're still there. But let's talk about...
That's why it's this like kind of double-edged
thing. But the residents that are still there. All right, let's talk about black middle class, right? They depart the city, right?
There used to be one of those.
There used to be one of those.
Yeah.
A really strong black middle class.
Yeah.
And... once they depart, what happens then, right? The wealth gap increases. Yeah, right? And like these numbers are really insane. So in Washington, D.C., the gap in the median income between 2005 and 2019 for the overall population is 95%. For black households, it's 50%. The gap, 45%. That's insane.
Yeah.
Now, New York City, the gap, 17% in the same time frame. Baltimore... 8%. Philadelphia, 2%. Which makes me like, why am I really love this city, right? All right, black home ownership declines, right? All right, so how do I
think home ownership in general declined, though, right? Because it all became this rental stuff. And
a little bit there, but like, again, listen to the numbers, right? So in 2005, about third of owner-occupied housing in Washington, D.C. was owned and it lived in by black residents, right? So in 2005, you got 46% who own their home, 58% who are rent. In 2010, 43% who own their home, 52% their rent.
Okay.
2019, 35%
That's
who own their home.
That's a huge drop.
That's insane.
So,
that's insane.
So the rest of the people who are still here, they're mostly renting.
They're mostly renting. And I think that's what gets tricky with
when you went from roughly 50-50 to being like 60-40.
I am not throwing any shade at the black middle class that says, you know what? I have a great job. I make money. Maybe I'm in the government.
I can buy much.
I can Barry put me like right in the government. Like I got a great job. I got a pension. I can get more land. I can go somewhere else, whether it's Prince George's County, whether it's Montgomery County, whether it's Virginia. I can't even, or as another state, whatever. I can't even get mad at that. It's still more so that it's like a lot of this is systemic to the point where it's like, these are also, and I thought today I saw Janice Lewis-George put out a tweet where it was like, based on this article, she was critical. It was like, we don't talk about the policy choices at all around this. And I think it just goes back to...
We keep acting like it was organic. Like it just happened.
Like this just happened. And no, and it's like, these are policy choices.
But no, of course it is.
Because, again, it goes back to that activist government or like, are you a government towards the developers? And like, since 2000, that pendulum has swung, right?
Absolutely.
And we run towards the developers and the idea of good government. We run a fiscally good government.
Yes, we do. Actually, DC's running a surplus. It's been running a surplus. But if you talk about whether you've got activist governments, when we used to talk about it swinging from activist to governance to activist to governance, since Tony Williams, then it goes Williams, then it goes Fenty, then it goes Bowser. Like, where's the activist? And we haven't swung back.
And I'm sure Bowser would say, yeah, no, like she would.
She painted a street. She did paint that street.
Right.
So it's all fine. It's all forgiven now.
And I think as what we need, like.
And Fenty gave us Chief Lanier. She's a woman chief.
Yeah, and a lot, and there was a lot of nice parks. The parks.
Yeah, the dog parks.
The dog parks.
I gotta love the dog parks. People on Connecticut Avenue need dogs.
It's easy to see where the power resides right now, and I guess what gives me hope, it does seem like the grassroots activists in the city and the grassroots politicians, they're leading with gentrification and displacement as like their major parts of their platforms. And I think one thing that we can look at is like the council itself. Like they voted last year to increase taxes on the wealthy, and the only reason that happened was because you replaced individuals on the council, right?
But I would say that, like, sort of weirdly, a lot of the influx white folks sometimes out progressive. You know, like they are more willing to tax the rich than the people who are already here, or they are more willing to vote for equity in housing or equity in schooling or equity. Like they are motivated,
and we need and
which is good, but it also feels weird.
It feels weird, and I can only imagine the natives of this city that are always looking at that. And like I think what's up to the natives.
I mean, I'm in that category, right?
Right.
I'm a white guy who at least I navigate society as a white person, and you know, I'm often the most pro-black voice in the room, even in a room of black folks. So what does that say?
Because I think what it is that
I have the safety
power
to say that.
And you have the safety and the power to say it. And that's what it is. And I just think that what needs to happen, and I think for the remaining black folk, because we dwindling right now, how I look at it is we need to harness that power that y'all have and say, all right, this is how we're able to use that and put folks into the government that are going to like
put that candidate out there that's going to get that support.
Yeah, and like again, because again, the votes matter. The votes matter, right? You're able to pass bills based on the votes, and no matter who it is, no matter their color in there, if their values are aligned with displacement, with kind of trying to curb, because you're not going to stop gentrification, but like curb it into the point where like you're giving folks jobs. You're going to the root causes.
Gentrification with equity.
Yeah, because if folks
There's no reason you can't do that.
If we create new jobs for folks where they're able to make more than a living wage, a sustainable wage that allows them to,
and you create good housing and good safe places and parks and all that stuff,
them to afford
like why not?
It can work.
Just include everybody in it.
Yeah. Again, are we going to be the government of Clark Construction, or are we going to be the government of communities? Are we going to
Folger Pratt,
or are we going to be it of like people? And I do believe that. Like, or are we going to get those places? And I'm not saying, I'm pretty sure we can look through the books and they do like a few things. But again, are we going to make them and make others pay their fair share for what you've done now? You can't reverse this. This is what it is.
The funny thing is, I don't think west of the park you get a lot of opposition to raising their taxes. Those folks are happy to pay more in taxes.
And if they have opposition in the past, it's like, all right.
Yeah, they're done with it now because they don't want to be caught saying that stuff.
Yeah, you can't come out here.
All right.
I'm pretty sure that I'd love to see a next door off of like somewhere.
No, you wouldn't.
I'd love to see
you know what it would be.
Somewhere.
There was a suspicious character. He said he worked for Verizon in my neighborhood.
I want to see the Palisades
up
next
MacArthur.
door.
Let's see.
The nurse at Sibley was...
Yes! She stole my stuff. It's Sibley.
Check out that article, that political article.
That's a very inside
it's a very
DC
inside
kind of joke.
If you like to read, that political article is great for you.
It'll take you about an hour.
At least.
And I read fast. It took me even an hour.
It's a long article.
All right. Let's go through the third half of the show here because Brian probably wants to go home. Yeah. This segment's called What the... So newly departed MSNBC foreign policy analyst Malcolm Nance, who, we've been watching for years, guys on there, he quit the network. What did he quit to go do?
Is he going to fight in the war?
He did. He joined the Legion.
Yeah.
Now, he's a Navy veteran. He's got a lot of military experience. He's an analyst and, absolutely knows what he's doing.
Right.
So he's not like, just some Yahoo with a gun. The Legion will only take people who actually have experience. They're not just taking like you and me. We can't just go to Ukraine and fight.
How fast I'd be dead.
Right. Well, the interesting thing is some of this stuff that he said when they asked him about it. The International Legion is one of the best kept secrets in the country. That's the story. They were higher level people than I am. Most journalists have never seen an actual member or been following freelancers all over the battlefield. I really can't tell you how diverse a group it really is. It is literally a multinational force of men and women who are here to defend Ukraine, he said. I was very touched when I met the first platoon and saw that they were here for the right reasons. They were not just here to get guns, he noted. He also has this incredibly excellent quote.
Which one?
Also, if anybody gives me any fucking flack, just tell them to shut the fuck up. Since they're obviously pussies who've never been in combat, the Legion only takes combat vets. Hashtag Bofidis. I wonder you had to quit MS because you can't say that on the air.
Come on, FCC.
I hope Madison Cawthorn tries to join the Legion. He can just roll right up and submit his application.
Yeah. Oh, God. We're doing it again.
Yep. All right. Here comes a new segment.
New segment.
This is Tez's new segment.
My new segment.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Look at these drunk-ass kids.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay, this kid... Yo, your new follow put this on my timeline. Shamari Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he threw this on the timeline.
Shout out to Shamari Stone, new friend of the show. He's following us.
All right, y'all. So here we go. Take this one for anybody who has kids. So several kindergartners consumed a pre-mixed tequila drink at their Michigan school.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Shut up.
Which acknowledged which acknowledged the fears and frustrations parents felt after they learned of the incident, officials said Monday, right? No student at Grand River Academy, where is this? In
Livonia.
Livonia. Like, Livonia was hurt, no one was hurt in this, and no one needed medical attention,
right.
Based on the school spokesman. And they're saying they understand the parents' fears and frustrations. Look, another quote comes out of this is like, while we try to keep an eye on everything our students bring to school, that's simply not possible.